What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be unboxing and building the Yolopark AMK Pro Series Optimus Prime from the last night. So this was sent to me by Dr. Diecast yet again. Thanks for allowing me to take a look. This is a premium version of this Optimus Prime with some diecast parts and some painted parts. The box has a nice image of Optimus on the front. Autobot logo there, and then on the back we've got the product. It has a frame. The frame is actually die cast, and then it's got the plastic armor, you know, really well painted, lots of accessories. You can change the look of the head, so if you want the Nemesis Prime or the regular Prime, you can switch it, which is nice. Overall, good looking box. It comes with a slip cover, so you take this off, and underneath we get this metallic image of Optimus here, artwork. Continues on the side, and on the back we've got some line art. It says no glue, no paint, no tools. You can just put it together. Alright, so let's get it open. And this is, I haven't looked at an AMK Pro in a while. And there are a lot of parts in here. Holy cow. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 trays of stuff. Holy cow. Alright, let's see. So we've got, looks like after sale service instructions. And then we've got the book. It says Action Edition. That's funny. That's the same wording that Lockheed's uses. So part A, part B, part C. So there's 3 trays right there. And here's the instructions. Wow, there's a lot. Holy cow. This is a pretty significant amount of build here. So I guess first step, put together the skeleton. Second step, put together the armor. Interesting. And then third step is put together the base. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this build just like I've been doing other builds recently. Basically, I'll put it together and kind of like fast forward. Oh, hey, we get something else here. We get this pin. That's pretty cool. It says roll out. It's got Optimus on it. AMK exclusive metal badge. Actually metal. That's cool. I'm not going to open it. I just wanted to show you. That looks neat. And yeah, so I'll just show you what's in here, but I'll put it together, you know, off screen. We got the stand and optional hands. And Autobot logo for the magnet. We get, the next tray is so here's the skeleton. And then I think this is the armor for most of it. And then this is the weapons and more armor parts. There's a lot of parts here. So I'm going to get this thing built. I'm just going to do it from the bottom up like I normally do. So let's get going. Alright, we finished the A-part tray. And I have to tell you, this is one of the most frustrating build experiences. One of the issues is, since they didn't label the trays, you need 2 pages at once. You need the label page and you need the instruction page. But they put the instructions for some of the A parts on the back of the page. So you gotta go like this. Where's the part? Where does it go? You know, extremely frustrating. You could tell they haven't done this kind of stuff before, you know, this kind of building technique. So it really makes for a frustrating experience. We're going to move on to the next tray, but I just wanted to mention that it's very frustrating because they've got the instructions on the back of the page part. All right, there is Optimus all built up. And I gotta say, he does look beautiful. The paint job, sculpted details, really nice. Build process is not fun just due to the instructions, but it does end up looking really nice. Just give you a quick look around. You've got red, metallic blue, gold, silver. There's really accents everywhere. There's a couple of metallic panels or die-cast panels throughout. And they're kind of like mixed in, but here and here on the sides, a couple pieces on the legs right here and here, a couple pieces on the arms. So it's not everywhere, but it's here and there. The back looks really good too. You got the smokestacks here, all that organic styling, detailing here. Good. Let's go over his articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It gets up to there, down to there. The neck itself can move forward and backward, and then the head can move independently, side to side, and rotates around. Although hindered by these die-cast shoulder pads, he runs into his own shoulder pads, which seems like, silly. But these shoulder pads up here can articulate individually. They're on a hinge, so they can go in and out. And you can rotate this one on the top. It has a little bit of like battle damage or like dry brushing on it, so it looks good. If you lift that out of the way, shoulders can go up to there. This piece is a little irritating, but it'll get out of the way and get you basically 90 degrees. You have a rotation here at the shoulder. It gets a little caught up because of the armor piece. I'm not sure that was necessary, that little detail there, but you do get a rotation. It's awfully tight. You have a double jointed elbow, gets you the full bend. There's a lot of armor in this area right here, so it just gets a little busy, but it's very accurate to the original, actual knight armor. Hands are on a ball joint, can rotate in and out. They're individually articulated. I'll talk about this in a minute. This loves to fall off. It's a die-cast piece into plastic. And so does that knee pad. Both of these are a problem, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just get that plug back on. The hands are individually articulated, but you do get separate hands. They're curled, so I'm not sure what's the point of having articulated fingers if they're curled. They don't really do the trick. And then the thumb is on a ball joint, but this is also curled. There's no middle joint, so it kind of makes it sort of worthless. You also have this pad here, which occasionally will pop off. It does look good. All right, continuing down, we have a ball jointed ab crunch here, so that'll get you a little bit of rotation and a crunch down to there. If you look at the back, he has a little bit of exposed spine here. Everybody's trying to copy that 3-0 thing. This is done okay. It's done all right. But you get a crunch there. You have a rotation here at the lower joint. It feels weird. The plastic is like oddly sculpted, I guess. I don't know. But it does rotate there. Lots of detail down here. You can move these hip skirts. They're connected together, so you can't move one independently. But the legs, if you move this out of the way, you can only move it up to there, but the legs are on a drop-down hinge, so it gets you all the way up to there. Then there's a separate hinge on the back of the leg. Lets you get back to there. So you can move it independently without that, but with it, it gets all the way up, which is really nice. You have a rotation here at the thigh on universal, but due to all the armor, it just collides. So you can't really get too much out of that. Double jointed knee gets you the full bend. This side is fine. This side you can see that armor just keeps falling off. This knee pad is barely hanging on. It's supposed to sort of use the friction of this plastic to hold it on. So this is going to have to get glued. Even though it says no glue required, These two pieces are constantly falling off. This one is a die cast, this is plastic. They look great, but they fall off and it causes frustration. You have ankle tilts, side to side. You have a little bit of forward and backward, and you have a toe tilt up. All right, now let's take a look at the accessories. And he comes with a really nice sculpted and painted sword. It's got Cybertronian writing along the inside of the blade. That looks nice. You got red, blue, and silver paint. And this will fit in the hand. Now you can use the this keeps falling off. I'm going to leave it off for now. You can bring the thumb down. You can use these hands, and you will hold it. So it looks nice. Or if you prefer, you can use the gripped hand and basically just pop off the hand on the ball joint. Remove this armor piece from here. And then swap it onto the new one. And it's a tight fit, so you gotta, get it on there. But then do that, and now he has his gripping hand. And you can't put it in there. You gotta maybe heat it up if it's too tight, but it does go in there and it holds pretty nicely. You can also take the sword, and we can come to the back here. And there's a storage clip. Looks like this. That will plug in right here. You got to pull out this piece right here. Oops. Looks like this. Just pull that out. Take that peg, plug it into there, and then this will slide into here. And I guess you can slide it all the way down, but that's pretty cool. You can kind of hold it on his back. And while we're here, we can pop off this panel right here on the sidearm and replace that with another panel. In fact, I would just recommend you leave this panel on here because it's got the tab and you don't really notice it. So it's an option part, but I think my suggestion would be just leave it on there. Then we can put his hand back on. And now we can use this adapter. So this will plug into here. And here is the shield. And this shield looks really nice. Again, silver, gunmetal, red, blue, gold. Really nicely painted and detailed shield there. You can plug it in right here. And it can rotate because of that peg, but that's a great looking shield. Did a good job on that. You can also take this off, come to the back here, unpeg this, and we can take a different style peg, looks like this. This will plug into here, and then you can store the shield back there. And with a different tab, looks like this, it just doesn't have that peg on the bottom. This will plug into the back of the shield, and then you can put this here. Now you can store both the shield and the sword on the back there. That's pretty cool. And with the tab slot you're left with on the arm, you can grab this sword. And I'm noticing that some of the paint is coming off on my fingers, but you got this. This will plug in right here. And now you got this arm dagger, which is cool. We also have an alternate head assembly, which will allow it to look more like Nemesis Prime. Now this head does have a light up feature. I just don't have the batteries, but if you want to put the batteries in, there's the compartment right there. Go ahead and take the top of the head off. Take the mouthpiece off, take this side off, and take the eyepiece off. And here's what it'll look like. And then you're going to replace all those parts. So start with the eyes. And you have to kind of do it in sequence, otherwise things will will fall off, or like it won't attach easily. So put the eyes on, then the mouth, then the side of the head. Give that a squeeze. And then the top of the head, which both of these pieces have red on them. And there's that Nemesis Prime head. It's got red here, red on the top. Purple eyes, although you can't really see them because they're not lit up. Apologies for that. But you get the light up purple eyes. It does look good. And you can put that on here, and now we've got Nemesis Prime. Pretty cool. All right, and the last accessory here is this display stand, which is sculpted, has a little bit of gold and silver paint on it, and red here for the Oddbot logo, which is actually a magnet to turn on the lights. Like I mentioned, I don't have the batteries in there, but this can be put on top of this stand here. And it's a little strange, it doesn't plug in. You just kind of sit them on top, and then you kind of position these two things, and that supposedly holds them on there. It's kind of too tall also. You can bend this wire, down, and it does hold just fine. It's a strange stand, and it doesn't hold him steady. I'm not sure the purpose. I guess it's just to give him some elevation if you have a flying pose. But just not my favorite stand overall. So final recommendations on the Yolopark AMK Pro Series Last Night Optimus Prime. This is a bit of a disappointment for me. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5, partial recommendation. I think what this does well is the paint job and the sculpt of this is really impressive. It just looks beautiful. The overall recreation of the Optimus from the movie is really well done. Nice accessories. I like the sword. I like the shield. The alternate head parts for the Nemesis Prime look is really well done. But what's not well done is fit and finish and build quality of this figure. Case in point, this leg piece that falls off, this knee piece that falls off as you mess with it. I mean, it really needs to be better quality. And it has to do with the soft frame that they use. Now, this is AMK Pro, so it's advertised to have die-cast. It does have die-cast, but die-cast in this part doesn't do me any good. What you really need die-cast in is in the feet or in the substructure of the frame of the figure. That's where I expected it to be. That's where it provides the most value. But because it's in random parts here and there, those random parts don't always stay tabbed in, and this is an example of that. Same with this knee pad. This knee pad just comes off too easily. Those kinds of issues for a $80+ figure, I think it's $90 shipped. That's just unacceptable, right? It's only an action figure. It doesn't transform. And for something that doesn't transform, those kinds of issues can exist, right? Especially at this price point. It just has to stay together. It just has to work. Now, if you're just going to pose it and leave it, I think you'll probably be fine with it, especially if you are looking for this figure. Now, Dr. Diecast got this specifically to put with the large Grimlock that's coming up. I think it's the Studio Series Grimlock from the same movie. And I think it'll probably look really good with that Grimlock. So for something like that, you're just sitting in on top of Grimlock. It might be fine, but that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Dr. Diecast, and we'll see you next time.